Hi there! Today I'm going to show you how to turn a little bit of black paper into magic, improving your lighting for only $3. Making nice shots means dealing with lights, whether it's the sun, a window, an LED panel, even a candle. If possible, you need to shape your light. If not, you need to be able to use it to the fullest. I'm going to show you how to create an arcade or grid. This is a tool used to direct light, because as I just said, you can't just expect light to aim itself. You want to aim it to shame it. Shame. Why would I say... Anyway. You really need to take control of your light. Otherwise, the light will just spill in parts where you don't want it to, and your shots will look more chaotic. What this tool does exactly is it guides the light the first few centimeters. What you're actually doing is you're dividing your light into multiple beams instead of one big giant beam. This makes it able to really choose what you want to light. You can of course buy grids, but why would you if you could make it for $3? So let's stop rambling and let's make one. What will you need for this build? Well, you need 2 big pieces of paper, you need a big ruler, and some scissors. And that's it. That's actually it. So I decided that my strips would be 5 centimeters wide. The length of the strips would be the width of the entire paper. I started out by making some marks with my pencil, each 5 centimeters. Actually, I started out by putting them on the wrong side of the paper. And then afterwards, I realized that I actually needed those marks, so I had to remake them. Anyway, make some 5 centimeter marks on the length of the paper. Make sure to make them on the 2 sides so that you connect those 2 dots and make one line. Then I made another mistake. You can really see how planned out the shoot was. I started cutting the paper right away, but what you would actually need to do is also make marks in the other direction every 5 centimeters, because we'll have to make some cuts later, and we'll just know on what line we have to cut them. It's much easier. Okay, if you made those lines, then we can start cutting the paper. We have 2 sheets of paper, so just keep them together and cut your line on the first piece of paper. That way you don't have to do everything twice. Once all the paper was cut, we can make those slits with those 5 centimeter extra lines. Just take one of the strips and cut on that line, but only cut half. It's even better to cut a little more than half than a little less. Make sure you prepare all those strips at once. If that's done, then we can start assembling the whole thing. You take 2 of those strips, and with those slots we made, you slot them into each other. I'm sure you know how to do this. Then proceed by sticking a piece of paper into every other slot of that first piece of paper, and then just start making a grid. Now I'm saying just do this, do that, but that last part, sticking all those pieces of paper into each other, it was harder than expected. Probably because I was cutting my pieces of paper a bit sloppy, so not everything lined up. But since it's paper, it's flexible, you can work it in ways so that it fits. After you stuck all those pieces of paper into each other, it should be ready, and it should be pretty sturdy. Now quickly, I want to say a few things. You can make this bigger if you want. Just maybe use the length of the paper as strips and use one more sheet of paper. You can also make the squares bigger if you want to. You can make the whole panel wider. Also, the strength of this thing depends on what strength of paper you use. It was almost a really thin piece of cardboard. So if you have the option to choose some paper that's a little bit sturdy. Now you probably want to see some results. And I'm actually using the grid right now. So let's take it off and see if we see some difference. That's a pretty big difference if you ask me. Okay guys, the grid is back on, and that was it, that was the build. I know it might have seemed a bit obvious to you, and it's pretty simple I know, but I just wanted to share the idea. That's it, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.